Our channel is dedicated to bringing live performances and events to audiences around the globe.
Perform in Weill Recital Hall at Carnegie Hall. Opportunities for soloists and chamber musicians are available. Opportunities to perform a concerto with the New York Chamber Players and Orchestra Manhattan. Opportunities for composers to have their works premiered. New, an opportunity to have your string quartets recorded on an album produced by Cicciarone Music and Arts. Receive a press interview and be featured on our live internet TV series. Everybody who auditions receives a session with our tech experts to ensure you the maximum quality of presentation from your own equipment. Auditions will be hosted live online throughout the entire season. After your audition, stay online to receive your personal performance evaluation and a chance to speak with our esteemed judges.
You intend to do all the right things, and you do them.
And I see you being very much aware that when your body moves, the sound flows.
It's like I never heard it before. I was like, oh, okay. So thank you.
There's more. Whole Orchestra is back. Audition to be a featured artist in Florence, Lviv, Cairo, the Philippines. Possibility to take part on a professional recording with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, and a chance to link up with Price Attractions, a professional artist management company. Visit our websites for more details. HoldOrchestra.com, SoundEspressivoCompetition.com, or ProgressiveMusicians.com. So that's opportunities to be featured in New York City and all around the globe. Have your works premiered on a professionally released album, press interviews on the live internet TV, evaluations from musical experts, professional management opportunities, and so much more. Take that next step forward and reach toward your opportunity to receive world recognition as a musical artist.
We heard 7 artists tonight, and each one was fantastic.
It all starts by filling out that application on one of our websites.
Welcome to Concert Hall's live programs. Thank you for joining us today. Our channel is dedicated to bringing live performances and events from international artists delivered to the audiences from around the globe. I am James Welch, and your host today. Today we are presenting again more Gala auditions. Musicians are auditioning for an opportunity to perform in Weill Recital Hall at Carnegie Hall in Gala concerts in New York City. Auditionees from many countries are seeking guidance and support from the judges through live comments, which you will hear after each performance today. A little bit of history about the companies here. We have Progressive Musicians, an organizer of many competitions and concerts at prestigious venues like Carnegie Hall. And we have Price Attractions. They are an artist advocate management company. Then Cicciarone Music and Arts, a boutique classical music agency, distributor, and publisher based in the Netherlands and Italy. And then we also have Sound Espressivo. And for Sound Espressivo, we have a fun video to show you about that. Enjoy.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
The goal of these auditions is to encourage, nurture, and reward musicians who are proactive about sharing their art and developing their careers. Sound Espressivo and progressive musicians together are providing opportunities for musicians to discover their unique artistic voice, take initiative, present themselves on their own terms, and carve out their own career paths. There are no restrictions to how many auditions people can take, and there are opportunities for every stage of development and aspiration. Last year, we had a full season of exciting presentations of full orchestra soloists with orchestras in different countries. Excuse me. And this season is growing. We invite musicians, educators, publishers, media managers, artist managers, and many others to share their insights to help musicians and everyone navigate the modern and, frankly, very confusing world of music. And as you just saw, the card that we had up there was a promo for our Music and Musicians Around the Globe series. Every one of our artists selected for our events gets a spotlight on this event. It's part of the package. You get to go on there, be interviewed, and shown on our regular internet TV series. So just another fun perk that we can offer to help promote, because musicians need help. We all need help getting our name out there, and that's one of the things that we can offer as part of this package. We have many other shows as well. And just recently, we've been featuring an orchestra from Florence, guest conducted by Maestro David Wroe, who's one of our judges here in the studio today. We have a fun little promo about the orchestra series that we'd like to show right now. Such a fun time there. And there were great concerts. David did a fabulous job, and we have him here today. We're going to introduce all of the judges now. We have 4 of them today. And first one up is, drumroll, Vikram Atamian, founder of Price Attractions, also known as Jack Price of Price Attractions, pianist, artist manager, first prize winner of the number competition. Next, we have Nvart Andreassian from Armenia, fabulous conductor, teacher, and has shared so many wonderful insights with us here, and is winner of many young artist competitions. Next on the queue is Maestro David Wroe, joining us for the first time this season, but not new to us completely. We welcome him. He is the director of the New Jersey Festival Orchestra, and he has had fellowships at Tanglewood, and he has conducted all over the world, including Florence. And he will be at Carnegie Hall with us on our Laureate Gala, November 26th. Welcome, David. And last but not least, we have Giovanna Yaqi, known for her bell-like expressive voice. She's a soprano, wonderful soprano voice. She's recorded on Naxos Records a new opera, The Leopard, and it's Grammy nominated for this season. and we look forward to hearing a little bit more about that. But judges, welcome to the studio today. Are they here? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody.
Here.
How is everybody?
Oh, great.
Very good.
Right.
Better now that I've seen you, James.
Better. Oh, well, that's sweet of you.
Now that I've seen you, James.
You know, David, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other soon. We have the Laureate Gala coming up on the 26th, and we're doing a recording session the next day, and we're going to get to know each other very well. And I'm curious because you're new to the.
I'll promise to clean my teeth.
That would be preferable. Thank you. You're new to the judges this season so far. This is the first time we've had you on, and I was just curious if you want to just mention a few words about what's up and coming in your season. What's new with the New Jersey Festival Orchestra? What's next?
Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity, James. I am blessed, like all the other judges, artists, musicians here on the podcast, with a relatively busy career, both here and abroad. I had a most peculiar concert only a few weeks ago where I paired Bruckner's Seventh Symphony with Tan Dun's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon cello concerto.
Wow.
I wanted to... and I titled it Faith Meets Fantasy. And
that sounds cool.
We might know that it's Bruckner's 200th anniversary of his birth, I believe. So
wonderful.
We thought we'd tip our hats to Bruckner. And then, as Jack and I was sent post-haste to Italy to perform.
Yeah, you were in Florence.
I was.
And I caught most of it. That was a wonderful Holberg suite.
Well, thank you. It was an intense few days of rehearsal with a very fine orchestra, and we were graciously hosted by Maestro Lanzetta, who I know is part of this program as well, and we'll be seeing more of him.
Indeed. Yeah.
And then I, amongst other things, I am the tour music director of the Irish Tenors, and we've got like 18 concerts in Canada and America coming up in December 18. As well as we do. It's a busy little session, but I'm squeezing in some concerts.
I have fond memories of playing under you with one of those concerts.
That's right.
Yeah. It was about 2 years ago now. I was the pianist in one of those orchestras, and that was a great time. Those guys are great, and you were great. Yeah,
thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we'll get to more things soon. We have one contestant today and auditioning, a composer, and we've prepared a presentation of his piece to go along with the MIDI track that we're going to listen to and enjoy. And it's a piece written by Vinayak Vikram. I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. But welcome, Vinayak, composer, to the virtual stage. Toi toi. Bravo. And that was titled Crystalline Raindrops. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. Such a fun piece. And we have Vinayak here in the studio. And welcome. Vinayak, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
No, but it's not a problem, sorry.
Oh, how do you say your name?
It's Vinayak, thank you for asking.
Vinayak, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, welcome here today. That was a fun piece. I could hear the crystalline raindrops. Do you want to say a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I actually composed this back when I was 13, a few months ago. And I wrote this piece in around a week in Glacier National Park in Montana. And I was mostly inspired by how expansive the scenery was, and also the clarity of the park and the sharp features and definition that was everywhere in the place. And a particular inspiration for me were the waterfalls that were all over the place there, and I tried to capture those in the little cascades of notes in places like Measure 22 and that kind of thing. And the other thing that inspired me was the rain that I experienced while I was there, because as someone who lives in California, rain in mid-August is certainly surprising. So that was quite inspiring. And I tried to replicate the ranges of rain from a light drizzle and a full-blown downpour. And the I tried to capture the light drizzles and the staccato and pianissimo sections, and the more full sounds in the forte sections, like Measure 17. And I actually tried to space the forte sections somewhat so that they carried maximum effect. And I also try to capture the expansive nature of the glaciers at the park. Even though there were barely any in late August, I still thought that it was important to convey those. So the ways I tried to do it were the chromatic scales, at least in the violin, in bar 63, and and also the bass line of the closing theme that's in the cello, and eventually in the violin in the recap, as well as just bar 78 where 77 where there's another forte section. And I have a particular fondness for the closing theme, actually, because I feel like the pizzicato accompaniment is the best portrayal of rain that I have in the entire piece.
I could hear those raindrops in there.
Yeah, and I finished this on August 20th, 2024, obviously. And that was actually my 13th birthday, so it was, my 14th birthday, so it was really nice to finish this on a day that's really significant to me.
What a
So,
birthday triumph there. Yeah. Wonderful. We ready to hear from some of the judges? How about Jack Price, how about you first?
I can't believe you called on me first. That is, you know, it takes me a while to. What is
do you
going
not want to
on?
go first? I always call on the person hiding in the
No.
back first.
No, this is all
It's my
prepared
teacher and me.
No, this is all prepared material. I'm just joking. You know.
I'm
Hey,
playing
have
off
you guys?
of you.
Have
You're
you
good.
guys have? Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Baroque Beatles?
The Baroque Beatles?
No, I said clearly Beatles with a D.
Beatles. Oh,
Deedle, 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 deedle. You know, Baroque Beatles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that was born in 1956? I mean, you know.
I'm gonna plead the
I
fifth
like
on that,
Kiki.
Jack.
That's good, Kiki. I really like that. I need to hear the gong right now to wake me up.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do we have a gong here?
What's wrong?
Sometimes. There we go.
Thanks, Savage.
All right.
I know that was Savage. Anyway, look, Vikram, is that your name?
Vienna.
my last name.
Vinayak.
Vinayak.
Vikram. Vinayak.
Yeah.
What nationality is this?
Like I was born in the U.S., but ethnically Indian, South Indian.
I just talked to an Indian soloist from Oberlin. She plays like sort of a Ravi Shankar type artist. I forgot her name, but she's quite good. Interesting. So it's a very organized, admirable composition. But it's not Berio and it's not Stockhausen and it's not Alban Berg. So the question is for me, yeah, it's very good, but what is it? I need a what are we trying to do here?
So at least what I was trying to do is
It's in other words, let me clarify. It's a little derivative, So
Yeah.
I just want to know what you're trying to do. You're obviously incredibly intelligent. I really appreciated all of that overture, explanation of the raindrops and all that. But I have to just be honest. I don't know what you're trying to do.
yeah.
Are you
so
emulating someone or what? What are you doing?
so what served as a particular inspiration for me were two pieces in general. Mendelssohn's Opus 13 String Quartet, A minor, which I actually performed this summer, and the same composer's Hebrides Overture. So, the structure and the general manner of Opus 13 was my primary inspiration for the textures throughout this piece and etc. But the Hebrides Overture was the main musical inspiration, and the way he captured such an abstract idea in such clarity. And what I guess I was trying to do is write something in the classical tradition that tried to encompass as much of our modern reality that I saw as possible.
So you say you're trying to compose in the classical tradition. Am I to assume that you have a different voice besides the classical tradition? I mean, what is your voice? What is your style? Is that representative of your style right now?
I would say that that is
Or
quite.
are you trying to write something like that Boccherini wrote or something, that sounds similar? That's why I said Baroque Beatles. Is that what you're doing?
Not particularly. I feel like my style in general is much more classically oriented and based in kind of a more exercised manner. Because I never have gotten fully into modern music and never fully understood it, so I prefer to stick to what I know and understand.
Well, that's a good point. That's very good. I like that. Yes. But what is it about the modern idiom? Let's just take someone like Dalla Piccola, who I really like. but he's certainly not avant-garde. He's certainly not. I've played all these, weird pieces all my life. Stuff with all kind, jumping up and down naked in the piano inside on the strings, that kind of thing. I mean, what gong? What is it about the modern idiom?
Okay, all right.
What's it about the modern idiom that perhaps scares you, or you feel more comfortable, with the Baroque Beatles type deal?
So for me, the reason the classical tradition is more appealing is because I love despite being I love math a lot, but I never fully understood like serialism and that kind of more modern thing. And I'm personally not that much of a fan of extended techniques as a musician myself. Um, yeah, I think the main reason that I find the classical tradition much more appealing than modern traditions is because, like, at least from first listen, maybe on deeper analysis, this is not the case. I feel like it reveals more of a structure and more of definite melodies and definite harmonies and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
but
I've
something
never
could be
fully
incredibly.
understood,
Go ahead.
yeah, and I've never understood, like, kind of like the sonority technique and, like, that kind of that's used in modern music.
Yeah, but there are very many tonal compositions that are very progressive. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a Chopin-esque melody or something. You can still be incredibly melodic and harmonically complex, like any composer of the past, and still have a you know something unique to say. I'm just wondering, if this is. It's probably a phase, right?
I don't know because like since I started composition I've been kind of writing in this style and like as a musician as well most of the repertoire I've learned is composed between like 1750 and 1900 so I'm not sure if it's a phase or if it's just like the result of the exposure I've had.
Yeah, that's possible. Interesting conversation. Well, I enjoyed it. So whoever, whoever inspired it, it's a very good piece. It's
Thanks.
just yeah, very good. That's about it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jack. How about we move on to David?
Thank you, James. Hello, Vinayak. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
I'll try and be as succinct as possible, but actually there's many things to potentially talk about. Prior to launching in, may I ask just a couple of questions? So you're 13 now, correct?
14.
14. And you intimated that you were playing a string piece by Mendelssohn. And what instrument is that?
Violin, first violin in
You're a
Mendelssohn's
violinist.
Opus 13.
Great. So when I listened to it, I answered some of the questions myself without knowing whether they're correct, that Jack indeed was asking, what are you attempting to do here? What are your influences? You answered some of those influence. And quite clear to me, from within about 15 to 20 seconds, Mendelssohn was a major influence on your life.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing in many ways, because as we all know, Mendelssohn, like you, was an extremely talented young fellow who was writing extraordinary music way beyond a typical youth of his age, writing extraordinary music. And I would compare you in that light, in that context, to be quite extraordinary, in that for a young person of your age to be writing music of this accomplishment is very, very impressive indeed. Now, what am I meaning about that? You clearly have a basic concept of traditional harmonies. The influence that you've had as a string player, playing quartets, quintets, and the like. You understand the basic concepts of polyphony, and as we were blessed when listening to the piece of music to also see the score, which helped us see the architecture of that. And in many ways, you were implementing techniques of Haydn and Mozart in bouncing the musical tennis ball from the first violin to the cellist and then to the violas, and then coupling second violins with violas, and using numerous string quartet orchestrational techniques, which were really quite accomplished, and I congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
I have no problem you deciding you're wanting to write in an idiom which is well established, and it takes one can take a lifetime actually in studying that idiom and becoming a master at it. So let's talk a little about my purely subjective opinions on perhaps how you can take this kind of style of writing to the next level. And one is creative, and one is perhaps a little more related to technique. And just for the sake of argument, let's just firstly talk about the creative element. So, what sprung to mind when this is a rhetorical question? What sprung to mind when listening and watching this piece? Well, immediately, Mendelssohn, fast-moving 16th notes, some of his scherzi. Another piece that sprung to mind actually was the scherzo from Schumann's Second Symphony. Which you might have played, or you might have played in auditions, or you might love that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what's so great about these pieces, the piece of the Schumann that I inferred, and perhaps a lot of the fast-moving Mendelssohn, whether it be the piece you quoted or maybe some selections from Midsummer Night's Dream. Within, on the face of it, a single idea of fast-moving 16th notes, there is actually a lot of variety in the genius that these composers create. You have emulated some of them, and I talked about that. It's the tennis ball bounce, polyphonic throwing of the tennis ball to musical tennis ball to various players. I would search for more variety in harmonic colors, in harmonic contrast. Without, this is just the first blush, I'd say about 80-90% of this piece of music was in the minor key, but I might be mistaken.
Yeah.
And so I would have liked to have seen a little more, not that I'm down on minor keys, but a little more light and smile, right, and
right,
contrasting gesture with regards to harmonies. And you understand harmonies quite clearly, and you definitely moved from tonic to dominant to subdominant to sevenths and the like. But I'd like you to try them in major, those shades in major chords a little more as well. Now, secondly, what was wonderful about the Schumann scherzo is it's very, very compact, and it's just a long list of 16th notes like what you did, but it has more variety in a way in a shorter period of time. So I want you to be more efficient and say what you want to say quicker in balancing these contrasts. That's one thing I would say, and focus on harmony to create contrast. Now, the only other thing I'd like to say, because I don't want to hog the conversation, is a technical thing. I want us to touch base on what is idiomatic for the instrument. Now, you're ahead of the game in many ways as you're a string player. And to me, that first violin part, and I'm a cellist, and the cello looked relatively idiomatic. And what I mean by that is it looked like something that on the face of it might look hard and make you look good because it's going fast, but actually sort of lies under the finger. Finger-wise, and even rhythmically, relatively predictable if we're used to playing Haydn, Mozart, Boccherini, and a whole bunch of Rococo and Baroque and early classical music. However, the second violin part, and in particular the viola part, on first blush for me, is very difficult. Not only because the upper register for that viola was going at high velocity, but secondly, some of those rhythmical interjections between second violin and viola in practice will be a bit of a train wreck for a number of the rehearsals and quite possibly in performance at that speed. So I want you to think just a little more carefully on the pure practical elements of a composition, because a really great composition is not only emotionally moving, but it's not making it too much hard work that it becomes onerous to perform. And I'd like you to rethink a little about, there's a couple of passages where you have 16th notes between the viola and the second violin with 16th rests. And the Amadeus String Quartet would have problems playing that at that tempo. So I made my point. Think what's idiomatic and what's not unpleasant to play for the players, which will get in the way of their otherwise enjoyment of this wonderful youthful creation. So variety and practicality, bring those two elements to the fore in your composition. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, David. Moving on here, Giovanna.
Yes. So, from an opera singer's perspective, your work is impressive, and your structure is rooted in the classical tradition, and it reflects a strong sense of classical form and symmetry. Congrats, and keep working on composing. But what I want to say is, don't stop discovering styles of various composers and works, such as like impressionist or neoclassical or contemporary works of after 20th centuries. Yes, that's all.
Thank you. And Nvart.
Yeah, I will complete what Giovanna said. Very good, Giovanna. I understand you are young and you like very much, as all we are, like classical music, but you maybe you must think about to enlarge your horizon and listen different musics, more than Mendelssohn, more than Hummel, more than Mozart, more than Vivaldi, or what else. You can also use Indian traditional music, thinking of way of thinking, for example. Yeah, don't forget it. It's very important, and it will open your mind, and it will help you to express your ideas. Rain, rainbow, dark, clouds, anything. Yeah. In a different way of musical elements, and you will find the way to be more expressive, which doesn't mean to be only romantic, expressive. So I can only advise you to listen many music from 20th, beginning of 20th century, many, even if you don't like, because you don't know if you will like or you will not like. You don't know if that music that you are listening will give you some ideas and will open your mind. So the curiosity will help you to find really your way. Because if you are not curious, you will stay in a style, and it can be die because it's a style of the past. That's what I wanted to say. But what you did as a 13 years old young musician, it's really impressive. But if you want to stay in this mind, don't move. Don't be curious. But if you want to go ahead and to become an accomplished composer, please open your mind.
Thank you, Nvart. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask the judges?
Not in
You don't have to?
particular. Not in particular. Thank you for asking.
Sure.
Yeah,
Anything
I'm
you
not
wanted
really
to
sure.
add?
I definitely appreciated the detailed feedback that I received. And yeah, I will definitely work on kind of implementing that in my compositional style and everything. But other than that, I don't think I have much to say. I feel like everything that I needed to say was said at the beginning, so I'm not sure.
Sure. Yeah, no worries at all. No, we enjoyed listening to your composition, and thank you for bringing it to our stage today. We encourage you to keep writing such great, yes. We encourage you to keep writing, and we're looking forward to hearing what comes from your creative mind in the future. So thank you for being here today.
Bravo, Vinayak.
Thank you.
So, we are at the end of this session, a short session today. We will have more sessions starting next Saturday, Saturday at 10, and then Sunday at 10, and I believe there's another Monday one. Where is that? Monday at 11 next week. And these are all auditions for our 24-25 season Laureate Galas at Carnegie Hall. We also have the Coloorchestra auditions coming up, and if you wish to apply for that to play a concerto with an orchestra around the world, visit our websites and for information. And I believe the deadline for that is November 21st. So if you still want to audition for Carnegie Hall, we have another round of auditions, and that deadline is January 6th. So we have a lot going on. Just check out our websites. Give us a call, give us an email, WhatsApp, text, whatever suits you, and we will respond to all questions that we can and give you all answers that we can. On that note, I would like to, we have our sponsors and supporters. We need to give recognition to them. We could not do what we are doing without the support of many companies. Thank you, partners. And we're not talking about just money. We're talking about time, resources, advertisement, the whole 9 yards. And it takes a village here. And yes, thank you. Applause. So thank you to our village. We are streaming live on all major platforms, as you can see there. And if you leave a question in the chat, our tech wizards can put it up on the screen and we can answer it. Or if you just want to leave a comment, to say something nice about one of the performers or one of the judges or whatever. I mean, we could put it up on the screen and we can interact that way. We love to do that. We have a wonderful team here behind the scenes at Virtual Concert Halls, and we could not do what we're doing without the team. Can we show the team credits? There we go. So our team involves Krisztian Palagyi, Jennifer Wang Savage, Franny Rasinovic, and Ante Botrish Kudrich, and Marco. Marco, your last name's leaving me at this point. But thank you all, and thank you, Anna Ouspenskaya, our leader of Virtual Concert Halls and spearhead of all this. We could not do what we do without all of you. Thank you. Could we bring the judges on for a second? Judges, are we all here? There we are. Okay, yeah, thank you for everything. This was just a short session, but so much wonderful insights and education that you bring to these programs, and we're very appreciative of your time and expertise. Does anybody have some words of wisdom they want to add? No.
David?
No wisdom for Monday morning, right?
Jack has nothing to say.
Oh, I have plenty.
Nvart, he has plenty to say, I'm sure.
I have plenty to say, and you don't want to hear it.
No, that's not true. No, that's not true. It's always very interesting.
I like what you guys said. Nvart,
Are we on Are we on air? By the way,
we're on the air.
Nvart,
watch your language.
I'll contribute one thing to all three. I agreed with all of you, by the way. I'm not just blowing smoke, but it was very interesting, Nvart, that you picked up on the hey, if you want to compose like Boccherini, stay where you are. If you don't, then listen to other stuff, or open your heart, your mind, your soul. Okay. I just don't know if this kind of stuff should be encouraged, but I'll just say that. And David, as usual, fantastic analysis. I loved it. This guy's he's like an architect, this guy. Next time I buy a piece of property, and build on it, I'm calling you. Yeah. And Giovanna, I like your brevity. It's really refreshing. It's just and I noticed you looked down and you had some notes.
Yes.
I need to do that.
Giovanna, I would like to hear you sing that first violin part.
Oh, okay.
I've heard Giovanna's fantastic. Yeah,
she is. In fact, I was going to ask her about this opera, The Leopard. That just sounds interesting. You recorded that recently for Naxos, and it's Grammy nominated?
Yeah, actually it is like a program when I was doing my DMA at University of Miami, Frost School of Music, and the composer was New York-based composer, Michael
What's
DeLara.
his name, Giovanna?
Michael DeLara.
Michael DeLara.
Yes, and this is an opera based on the story for the international acclaimed 1958 novel Il Gatto Pardo by Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa, a Sicilian aristocrat who faced the changes in Sicily during the revolutionary times of Italy. Yes, and I was selected as one of the leading role and premiered that contemporary opera.
Now, the musical language, is it contemporary or is it a little more traditional?
It's contemporary.
Wow, I want absolutely hear that.
Yeah, where can we hear this?
Actually, there's a CD album in the Nexus Records website, and also the music is online for the Spotify, Amazon, and all of the musical platform.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Fantastic.
Because
thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting opera, but I'd just like to hear you sing again. So Giovanna gave a wonderful, compelling performance on our last gala in July at Carnegie Hall, and everybody should hear her sing.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we are out of time here, so we're going to sign off. Judges, thank you again for everything. We will see you all. We will see you all Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for our next session as we continue with these auditions. I'm James Welch here for Progressive Musicians and Virtual Concert Hall, signing off and saying have a happy Monday. Bye now.